Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade and special Sunday Easter edition of Friday Seal Deals. Man, I just got done with bacon and cinnamon rolls for breakfast. It was amazing. Outlaws of Thunder Junction collector boxes over on eBay, 186. There's what, $25, $30 of immediate arbitrage compared to the rest of the market prices of this product, and I think it will be coming back up at some point here. I still think this is a good thing to be slowly nibbling at and putting back in the closet. Second up, Journey Together, $199.88, $200. We're going to look at the price history in just a minute on this over on TCG Player, but yes, $200, there's about 20 boxes left. There were about 50 last night when I told my patrons about it, so you should probably get in on it before it sells out here. And if by the time you see this video it's sold out, there's a second vendor on eBay at $214. The rest of the market is around $230, $235, both on eBay and TCG Player. Now, looking at it over here on TCG Player, I just want to point out the price history where it peaked up here right about a month ago at 275, and now it's down to, well, 230 for these couple of boxes, and then it goes back to, what, 234? Yeah, 235-ish. So 230 to 235, but this is something we're seeing on these later Scarlet and Violet era Pokemon boxes, the ones that have run up really high in the last, say, 3 to 6 months. Things like Surging Sparks, Twilight Masquerade, and Journey Together. We're seeing that they've peaked, come down, and then are kind of going sideways, not entirely going sideways. So if we look at Surging Sparks, see the same kind of shape. It peaked up there, and what is the date on that? I'm more interested in the date than the price. March 1st, so that's nearly 2 months ago. It peaked, it got the reprints, it came down and bottomed, and you know, some of us would call this sideways action here. Some of us would call it trending back up. You know, you're going to have to decide what you think that looks like. But it's interesting to me that these boxes are off their highs and not immediately ascending back to new highs at a very rapid rate. So the same thing here with Twilight Masquerade. Peaked here into February, beginning of March. Got some reprints. The price came down. And it's trending slightly positive. So I continue to think, like I said a couple times over the last few weeks, that there are small cracks forming in the Pokemon market. The printing presses are running 24 hours a day, and they are very, very, very slowly catching up. But it's going to take time to catch up to the immediate demand and then also build up some inventory in the market so that the prices can start to meaningfully come down. But I still think there are cracks forming. That's the important part. Innistrad Remastered. So WotC's pulled back on the dumps of these over on Amazon. They haven't been sold by WotC over there in several days, and the price of $260 over here on TCG Player is the best place. And something I like to see here is this sideways trend. So it kind of hit a bottom about a month ago now, and then it's trended mostly sideways since then. And so that means that we're probably consolidating. We're probably hitting the trough of the TCG expansion life cycle, and we can expect for this to start coming up at some point in the future. Now, there's always the caveat. WotC may be sitting on another dozen pallets of this that they're ready to dump on Amazon and absolutely crush the market like they love doing. So you never know for sure, but you have to make a choice to buy at any given moment. You don't get to go back in time when you have better information from the future. Ravnica Remaster, I just wanted to talk about this one, $274, but you know, this is the kind of thing where we saw it peak up here about $390. Sorry, it's $374. Don't get too excited. Peak at $390 a couple of months ago and then trend downwards. And so it's interesting that we've seen some of these Magic collector boxes. The newer ones are going up. The older ones are mostly going sideways or down. But then we have things, well, here's Zendikar Rising. For a long time, it has been trapped. And look how small the horizontal scale is, the vertical scale, sorry. 225, and then that's 235. So it's literally been within this $10 range for nearly a year. And that's what I'm saying, is that some of these things just absolutely trend sideways and refuse to budge, even though the lowest ask price today is 248. It's about $14 above the current market price. So that means the price is trending upwards very fast. There was a sudden surge in buying. Maybe it can hold this approximately 250. I don't think it will, after it's spent the last year within this $10 range, not really moving. So that's one of your examples of older boxes that are trending sideways, and then ones that are doing great. 280 as the lowest ask, and look at this, just in the last month it came from a market price of 243, and today the lowest ask is 280. So nearly $50 of increase, about 22% price rise just in the last month. The market kind of doesn't know what it wants to do. There's a lot of uncertainty hanging over it because, very obviously, for most people, the TCG market is downstream of the rest of their finance, the rest of their views on their job security, their paycheck, their investments, their retirement accounts, and the entire halo wealth effect that economists talk about from time to time. And so when there's so much uncertainty overhanging the market because of tariffs, because of inflation, because of all the rest of just the general things that might cause uncertainty right now, well, this is the market that suffers the most, because this is a lot of discretionary spending going on here. And even for the folks like us who come over here as investors, for a lot of us, it's still downstream of the rest of our finances. And so it's interesting to see the Magic collector box market just kind of moving sideways, some boxes going up, some boxes going down, but it's not the rising tide lifting all boats that we were seeing 6, 9, 12 months ago. So we'll have to see what happens. But, you know, we've been in a bull market for Magic collector boxes for almost 2.5 years now. We've been in a strong Pokemon bull market for, depending on product to product, we might say 6 to 12 months, something like that. We've been in it. And so if things were to start reversing in earnest, giving up some of those price gains, and generally going bearish for a little while, it wouldn't be all that surprising. And you know what? I'll still be buying a little bit all the time. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade. Affiliate links down below.